Heidi ho, everybody. Michael, Chuck Meyer, what's going on, everybody? Gregory, Craig Faust, all my buddies, all my best buddies.
Who?
Michael Grabato and Gregory and Henry Nunez back again. Timothy Lang, what's going on, everybody? What's the question? Oh, we're gonna get to it today. Today's gonna be a good episode. I think based on the feedback we get today, I think today will be a good episode. Make sure it's turned off.
Put the volume down.
Yeah.
What is that?
No, it's the same way. Whenever you turn that thing on, we are not going to be at Living Legends this year. Unfortunately, we could not get a response from what's his name?
DJ.
DJ.
We also asked at the last minute.
Yeah, we didn't plan strategically enough for this, but
Concentrate a little too much on 0 Hour and Super Game.
what's his name?
That goes.
You guys, the guys at 0 Hour just took all. Mike and KT just can't handle it. There's too much, you guys. Too many Chavelas. Just kidding. There's never too many Chavelas. Never.
It's not me that can't handle it. It seems to be everybody else.
As we smell like flowers. You can't just say that as an intro and not tell us what we smell like flowers. Scott Faulkner, what's going on, buddy? I need to. Scott, thank goodness you reminded me. I totally forgot. His javelin bolt hitting is lockable.
Okay.
No. Just show up. Just show up. Yeah. I wish it was that easy. We got a lot of stuff going on. Callista, hello. Let's see here. Are you sharing it?
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. What's going on, Callista? How are you? Just show up. Ugh. So you guys do us a favor right now. Go ahead and share it to as many groups as possible. We'll get right into it. I think today is going to be a very interactive show. Going to be a lot of questions, a lot of dreams maybe blown, but we have some cool information for you guys today. And
I'm here to ask about the tornado kits for the X7 Classic. Don't ask.
Callista's birthday's on Sunday. Mine's
Yes,
this month too. Oh man, there's a lot of May birthdays.
Yes, it is.
Steven,
We'll
have more updates on the Tornado AK-12 model. We've talked about it before, but we'll have updates and stuff shortly. We have some other projects that are taking precedence right now, but we will have it. Be at MPOG 8 to see it in all its glory.
That's on his gun.
Yeah.
Maybe not all its glory, but on his gun.
Oh yeah, that reminds me, Chris Kelly, thank you. There is for some of you guys down on the East Coast, especially in the Florida area, and the guys that were going to the that one game ops game in Florida. I think Dave was involved with it.
Dave. Well, he doesn't contact us and tell him.
No, I think it got canceled.
Oh, did it get canceled?
So there is a game that's going to be replacing that event. If you go to the MagFed Florida group, and Chris, make sure you tell Timothy Brooks and Dusty to put that on the events page, so that way we can promote it a little bit better. It's going to be replacing that event because I believe that event got canceled. So if you guys are in the Florida area or that surrounding states that are interested in going to a MagFed game, make sure you go to the MagFed Florida group on Facebook to is it Division Ops? Oh, is it Division Ops in Alabama? Oh, okay. So make sure you put that event in there, because I know Stan Dillard also said something about it, but he didn't give me all the details. So make sure, Chris, you or somebody else put that event in the events page on pvcal.com to make sure that we'll promote that in the future. What's going on, Brandon? How's it going? KT's right here. He's just he's tweeting. So at Mountain Doom. Okay, Chris, you gotta put it in the events page, because I don't know that field, and that way, like I said, I can promote it with all the details, and we can show it on the page here, so we can get some more publicity for you.
Yeah.
Division Ops was a game that was canceled, though. I remember seeing that. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
What do you think?
He said he posted on the events page.
So is he posting up
Division Ops was the game that got canceled.
Which was Dave's.
Which was, I believe Dave was involved. I remember him posting about it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get one show where people don't ask about the box mag or PTR.
I'm with you on that one.
I wish, man. I wish. I wish.
Peter was last week. You have a chance to.
That one's still fresh.
It's gone. It's
Operation Tactical Corset. Well, you might as well tell Finch now to get it back to you.
Love that. Oh, Wolf's on. What's going on, Wolf?
Thank you, Wolf.
Is it Brian Avery?
Over.
What's going on, Brian? Rashid? You got your hands on a box mag. Don't call me.
Might as well. What do I got? Four to repair?
That's right. Well, since we're all here, welcome to the MFW show, episode 16, I believe. No, I missed one. It should be 17 again, right?
Should be 16.
Oh, it is 16. I got it.
Well,
right.
The 17 was be the ordinance.
The ordinance. So we.
This would have been this would have been 17 if we counted the ordinance one. But
Okay.
We didn't, so we can't skip a beat there.
Sorry, it's episode 16. But thank you guys again for all of your support. We do this show for you guys. It's growing every single week. The publicity on our YouTube channel has grown exponentially as well as our Facebook page. So without you guys, this wouldn't be worth our time, and we would still be actually working right now. But we appreciate all you guys coming in here and asking questions, and we're very glad in answering them for you. So today, you have anything in the beginning you want to start off with? Or you want to jump right into it?
I do want to have some information I passed out after 0 hour. A lot of people hitting up on me for asking me questions. How can they grow MagFed in their local groups and local community? I've been giving them a lot of information. So if you guys want to grow MagFed in your local community, there are 3 ways to do it. Number 1, you gotta have regular games. Get the boys together, post it up, use us to help you. Post your event onto a calendar. We can help you, or contact us personally. We can do that for you. Even have loaner markers. We have ambassador program. We can get that going for you. Loaner markers, and you can loan them out to the players that go into the event. I always use the analogy that to the new players. How can I do it? It only takes you gotta be persistent at it. Look at ODSC, right? They start with few guys. We loan them. We get them started. We loan them 10 guns, and look where they are today, right? 5 years. They're on 50, so 4 years. They have an event every single month for 4 years straight. So I think they're number 49 or 50 right now. So they're already past the 4 years. And right now the average game is about 100 players. So yes, we help them, and they've grown, and they're doing their own thing. They have games. They put games together. They have a shop. And after you've grown up, you can do, we're not restricting you guys to just use our markers. You can use any brand of markers, be sponsored by anyone. We don't really concern about who sponsors you. We're just concerned that you get in the field and play and get more players out of the field. And contact us. We'll do the best we can to get you, your group, your local fields to support MagFed. That's all we care about. So contact myself, Jonathan, or Mike. Any of us can help you. It's simple. So if you're willing to do it and you commit to do it, we'll help you every step of the way.
It's honestly worth it. If you're really trying to grow MagFed in your area, our PB calendar has actually grown the area in Michigan for MagFed. I had Sage Honey, who's going to be one of the ambassadors, the only ambassador that's going to be active in the Michigan area now. I just got his email back today. Because of that event page that we have, people that he's been able to refer have now been convinced to invest in MagFed completely. They're buying guns, and now they're going to be attending his events. So we can't guarantee that it's going to be an overnight thing where you're just going to get 100 players in your first event. That may not be the case, but if you're persistent, you definitely market it right, you promote it right, you organize, it can definitely be a successful thing, and you can be the leader in your area for MagFed. So check out the events calendar, show people videos, give people the incentive and the motivation to want to try it. The loaner fleet for you ambassadors out there, Dusty, Timothy Brooks, all you guys that have loaner fleets, these are the events that you can also go out to if they're local and start bringing these people in into the MagFed world. So yeah, it's definitely worth it. Other than that,
the key to it is persistence and consistency.
Right.
Okay. Once you start on a monthly basis, you got to do it every month. Even the guys, MagFed Legion out in Sacramento area, they've kind of latched on to West Coast Paintball's monthly big game day. He does where every player is part of a free barbecue, and so he gets a natural big attendance of airsoft players, paintball players, recreational birthday parties for that day for that reason. And they've kind of scheduled their MFOG days or MagFed days during that time. That's helped them grow, because even when they have their MagFed games, they're consistently hovering around anywhere from 40 to 80 players, depending on the weekend. So consistency is key. As long as you stick to a monthly, people know every month they can plan for it, it'll happen. And Wolf is right. I saw a comment here from Wolf about the MagFed movement up in Oregon, the Super Game. It was a really big, strong presence there, a really big, strong push. A lot of people came to our booth. A lot of people looked at it comparative to last year. Wanted to find out more about it, how to get more, and what I heard a lot of is, that's my next big thing. I'm going MagFed. I'm going MagFed. So the interest is there. And what I tell a lot of people is you got to latch on to those kids that are playing Call of Duty, Battlefield, and video games, because that's all they do nowadays. This isn't the 80s and 90s where we went outside and scraped our knees. Kids play video games. So if you really latch on to that for them, get them interested. As soon as they're old enough, they're going to be out there playing paintball.
That's right. And for those of you, recently we're making a big push on the events that we're involved in now, and then here locally as well. But if you're interested in throwing events, go to your elementary schools in your area, around the field that you're going to be using for the events, even high schools. These schools are actually open to this type of stuff to invite parents to spend time with their kids. You have the right flyer, which you don't have to invest a lot of money into any type of marketing. Social media is a big one right now. Facebook, Instagram, etc. But if you target these elementary schools, ages 13 and up, depending on the regulations of the field that you're using or insurance, whatever, you can bring new players into the field, into the game, and into the sport, and essentially get them hooked on that first event if done correctly. So, like you said, the demand is there. We get it all the time. We're doing private events now.
Yeah.
We have a lot of corporate companies that are contacting us for team building exercises because people want to shoot their boss. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of stuff. So it will happen, and like Mike said, it does take persistence. So you do need to be consistent, be creative. If you need help with a template, we have it, but really you can do whatever you want. Literally the sky's your limit for this kind of stuff. So, if you guys need anything like that, make sure you contact us for any questions. Other than that, I say we jump right into it today.
I think we should want to do the auction
Oh,
first?
the auction, that's right.
Let's start with the auction, and let's go over some events.
Okay.
Since we have, and then we'll go into...
Okay. So, auction gun, Mike's got it right here. We're doing the auction a little bit differently. Some of you guys that were asking me, hey, or coming in the weekend, hey, I won the auction on the website, and then I had to break your heart slowly and tell you didn't win. It was kind of confusing. We had some misconceptions and a little miscommunication as to how exactly that worked. So we took that part off the website, and now we're going to be auctioning off all those guns that are left over on the show here. So KT will explain how to do it. He'll show you on the...
Well, we show them what they're auctioning for first.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so the first one is this Vortex M4. Has a Picatinny rail across the top and a Halo Tech. There is, I think there's more for looks. I'm not sure.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think this Halo Tech is more for just the look. I don't know if it's functioning. Again, this is something Jenny put together with the M4 with the double.
There's a video on the page that you can check it out.
Right.
Go ahead and pull it up to the page.
Yeah.
What I really like about it is obviously the UMP trigger frame on the
Change
Vortex.
page first before you do that. Yeah. Okay, you're gonna show where it is, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you go in when you guys go to a page, go to resources, and under MFW auction,
Oh, there's many tabs here.
right there. And once you're here, you click on the auction gun there. And what happened is that the last couple of times we did the auction and our live feed was delayed, and some people were bidding differently than one that we see in the screen. So we decided to do live on the page here. So whatever you want to bid for, you just lock in and you just write in a comment box below the auction area there, and you can go ahead and just type in what you bid for. That was live. At the same time, you're not worrying about the time differences or the lag feeding, live feed that we have. So we just bid on live, and we can just read your bid off live, and we just guess who's on the top.
All right. So, like you said, you can go there to the resources place and our resources tab. Go to the MFW. You have to be logged in though, in order for you to make your bid. So make sure that you are logged in and you log into your account. If you don't have an account, for heaven's sake, if you're watching this show, you don't have an account, create an account, okay? And then you'll be able to open. Brian, I will open the bid with my friendship. That's fantastic, Brian. Thank you for that.
That's worth a lot.
Yeah, that's more of a Make-A-Wish Foundation bid, but we appreciate the effort. Starts off at $100, increments of 10. If you start the bid off at 250, that's where it is. You can't bid below that. You have to then go for $10 from that area. So, is that everything on that? Oh, it's got the new UMP.
The video actually
it's got the
covers it
new
all
UMP.
too. It's the video. If you watch the video on that page there, it covers all the aspects of it as well, shooting, demo, and so on. So you're getting all the information directly on the page. We'll kind of speed things up a little bit by showing everything on the over live, and we'll just kind of record a video for you. You can see what you're bidding for.
By the way, this is a big boy gun, Al double. It does not have the lock bolt because this is a Vortex, so it's not released yet.
First strike ready.
But it is first strike ready. You'll get 2 magazines, 1 helix, 1 shape projectile, E-mag.
So actually, whoever won if you're the winner of this Vortex, I will install the lock bolt for you.
Wow.
So be the first person to have the lock bolt installed on a Vortex.
This is why KT's on the show. Does it lacerate? I have no idea what that means, Dusty.
It definitely
Talking about
lacerates.
Oh, for first strikes?
Yes.
Oh man, I don't know. That's still open for debate. But this gun is heavy. So if you're buying this for your son or daughter, probably not going to work. This is the Vortex is a naturally heavy gun, just like the A5. But with these accessories, it's definitely a little heavier
beefy.
a little beefy. So just keep that in mind. But this is a solid piece. I mean, this is an awesome look too. So you guys can go there to the blog area. If you do not, I'm going to put the link down right now. Here, hold that just for a second.
Nomad saying, "Can I win?" Sure, you can. Bid.
Yeah. I'm going to
Anybody
put
can win.
the link right here in here for you guys, so that way you know where to find it.
Yeah, I can keep up to see who's.
If someone comes in here and asks a question about the auction, just tell them to
click on the link
go
there.
click on the link. I'll pin it to the top of the thing here. What do you say? How durable? Very durable. I can't.
The Vortex.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
probably, I think
I
it's
don't
probably one
see
of the
any
most
problems.
toughest one we have.
Clarence Abbey's in the house. You know what I just found out? But Clarence says he's not going to N-War.
Yeah, he's not going to N-Word. He called me. He called me and told me. I didn't tell him, Clarence, because I wanted you to pick the news for him. I didn't want to be that guy. Mike's cried on my shoulder before, and I didn't like it. It was uncomfortable. Al, you got to go to the link, buddy. You can bid in the link there. I've never had a durability issue with our markers. I've never heard of a durability issue with our markers. Me personally. I don't know about,
I have when people try to disassemble it and don't take all the screws off, and then they say somehow it broke in the front by itself.
Yeah, but, guys, if you've been paintballing since 1981 and you tell us that, it doesn't help your cause when we know it's your fault, okay? Don't use that line. It doesn't work. So, but me personally, Morgan, I've never had any durability issues. Like, I've rarely, the times that I get an email of like, hey, I broke my gun, and I get a photo, and I'm like, wow, he broke his gun.
That's
You know,
the
like,
one.
how did you do that? You
Right.
know, and the story ends up being something that's like completely out of paintball standard. You know, like I was jumping semi truck to semi truck on the 101. It fell and it broke. I mean, that type of stuff. I mean, I can't really tell. But the auction is there, guys. Let's get right into the show. Today, I named the show Question of the Century because this is a question that we get very, very often. A lot of you guys, Javier and a bunch of other guys that are watching this show right now, I'm not going to name drop. Sorry, Javier. But you ask me this question quite oftenly because there's a lot of you guys out there that are ambassadors that are dealing with this. Rosenberg Rios, Henry, Toretta PB, all you guys in South America. We get questions about what is the differences between the Tippmann TMC and the Bolt or Blizzard. And we addressed this question with some basic stuff, but we wanted to do this episode to visually show you the pros and cons of each system, both ours and the TMC. So, Mike, you want to show them the TMC? And then we'll kind of go back and forth on what our initial impressions are, and then we'll get right into the facts.
Good.
I did
Oh.
that.
You can find the barrel?
No, we want to show more than what we're, like a butt stop, for example. The easy thing that you can upgrade on the TMC. We get, every day, we get at least a dozen phone calls inquiry about TMC and ask us how to upgrade TMC. We kind of just tell them that it's kind of hard for us to. There's not much you can do as far as that goes. So we could offer attachment like the buttstock. You can get a mil-spec buttstock. You can attach in there. That is one of our buttstock. That's the ribcage buttstock. And barrels, of course. It's that's pretty much what we can offer as far as upgrade goes. Maybe scope, sight, and mount, but you cannot change the handguard.
But there is something else about
scope
and mount. But no, go ahead. We should tell them exactly our impressions of the TMC first.
Okay, each of us.
Each of us.
Okay.
Well, I mean, for me, I think the TMC is a really simple, good starter gun. Their mag engagement is really smooth. That's definitely something that they got right. And we've been dealing with these winders and gears for years. It wasn't something that we wanted to deal with anymore, so we moved on to the Helix to kind of be a little more problem-free. But Tippmann really did a pretty good job in here with their secondary two-stage trap. I had some misfeeds on this one a couple times during testing and kind of overviewing it. I've seen a lot of people out there who said it's worked flawless. They haven't had a single misfeed. Great. It's just my own personal experience with these winders and gears that eventually they get tangled up and cause misfeeds. But the size of it and the compact design of it is really cool. What they did here, moving the internals back into the buffer tube so that they can shrink that gap. But that's kind of where a downfall for me kind of happens with customizability. Now, if somebody's going to buy this for $200 and this is what they're going to use and they're going to buy extra mags and they're just going to deck it out with some scopes and rails, great, it's the perfect gun. But what I see with a lot of people is they always come to me asking for ways to upgrade it. I got a couple of those questions at Super Game, say, do you have any barrels for this thing? The problem you have with upgrading barrels is that Tippmann has their standard barrel and this is their handguard. Okay, there's nothing really holding it other than their barrel. But if you look at their barrel, it has a kind of a bulb positioned right about this circular hole to stabilize it. Now this is a 1-inch barrel that somebody came in to upgrade this TMC, and it fits in there, but that bulb area is actually more than 1 inch, so it still has some wobble.
But it's pretty good with the muzzle.
Yeah, within the rescue.
Now, again, for some people, who cares? They're playing paintball, they're running around, who cares if it doesn't wobble? Some people like to make sure their sights line up perfectly, and I can't shoot straight because my sight, and I don't get that because this is, again, paintball. It's not that accurate. Buttstocks also have a problem of being upgraded because of their little adapter piece here where the blowback and the striker goes. Kind of hits, so you can't really upgrade unless you modify your parts. That's probably the biggest thing that I get from customers is wanting to upgrade shrouds, barrels, buttstocks, putting a slightly different look. And they're not modders. They're not somebody who grasps the concept that, oh, you have to kind of modify this or do this, and they look at me like
Al's almost fighting again.
they look at me like they're confused as hell. So that's kind of
Don't outbid him.
Yeah, don't outbid Al. Al's gonna break his computer.
the ability to put an air tank and stock on the back is another question that I get that unfortunately you can't do with the TMC. They did a really good job with their airline and through the back of the pistol grip. It's hidden. It's no longer visible. But taking it down to clean it, this thing is honestly a bitch. But so are other guns. But I mean, that's really my personal opinion when I looked at it. I mean, other than that, I think it's a really good starter gun. It's just hard to do much beyond that unless you're somebody who likes to tinker or mod.
So my first impressions is essentially the same as Mike. I mean, cosmetically, it looks awesome. It's compact. It's light. For a new player, something like this is visually appealing, and that's kind of the biggest thing. Even with a lot of our products, when I deal with brand new customers that come into the lobby here, and they're like, "Whoa, are these real guns?" or "Whoa, are these airsoft guns?" and I tell them they're paintball guns. That's kind of the biggest thing. But for me personally, and for those of you who call and talk to me about getting these players into MagFed, you guys have loaner fleets. It goes much more beyond just having a cool looking gun. You need to understand the gun. You need to understand how to clean, service, maintain. And then also, for me personally, if I'm getting into something, I want to know what my growth potential is going to be with this. And not just, if I invest in one thing, is this going to be the best forever? Am I going to want this, the same exact loadout, the same exact thing, 6 months from now? And unfortunately, that's never the case. A new player is always going to see something that's bigger, badder, stronger, and want to know, well, what can I do with this to make it look more like that? That's the number one question that we get about our systems that I take a lot of pride in and am proud of, because a lot of them are modular. So a TMC, learning more about it from KT and Mike, it kind of disappointed me, because it's like, wow, a $200 gun that someone can really get into MagFed, and it's got the Tippmann name on it, which everyone knows is going to be a strong selling point as well. But does it have the ability to grow with a new player? Does it have the ability to teach people or teach new players about functionality, maintenance, service? Unfortunately, in my opinion, I don't see the TMC offering that, just because of its complexity, and then also a lot of parts that are not interchangeable, not compatible, makes it a little bit more difficult for someone later on, after 2 or 3 months of a 12-year-old having this, who we know younger kids can change their mind in a week. You know what I'm saying? And then, that's where we're getting these calls and these questions. So my opinion, I think it's great. I think its design structure, even its components are solid. But if it came down to it, my pros or my cons on it is just the growth compatibility. It's just not there.
I actually like this gun a lot. For functionality wise, it's quite great. Very well designed, detail. Of course, a couple of things that that's kind of set back for new players is serviceability. If you have a break in the system right here, in the chamber, you can't really clean that very easily. You gotta take the whole thing apart. Of course, upgrade is the issue too. As opposed to like on a bolt or any of these guns, you kind of depress a little pin, you pull it down, and here you go. You got access to the chamber. You take the barrel off, and you can pretty much do auto cleaning, and you're done. Kind of put into a bucket of water, swish it around, do some rounds, and then the air will kind of clean itself up. So that's the thing about this marker. A little bit setback for new players, but as far as that goes, it's a great marker. That's pretty much it.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right, so you got our feedback. I'm sure all of you guys have opinions. You've seen videos, you've watched, many reviews. There's a lot of them. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of reviews on our products, and a lot of these new players don't even know what a compatible or comparable system is that they have options for. A lot of people see the T15, the Milsig, that's kind of costly and way above that $200 price point. So we're going to go step by step into what you can do on a TMC and what you can do on a Bolt and what you can't do on each of the systems. So Mike's, hold that one there. We'll go through the, this is the, where actually I have that one right there. So the Blizzard right there, yeah.
Okay.
So this is the Bolt, or I'm sorry, the Blizzard Elite. This is our compatible or option system for the TMC. It's $229. You have the rear air option, which we talked about is not compatible with a TMC, nor most likely is it possible in the future, based off of what we saw, to make this rear air?
No.
Less likely, no.
Less likely. So the rear air option allows you, obviously most of you guys know that, to put the tank or remote line adapter. The mil-spec remote line adapter allows for mil-spec stocks, Magpool, etc. If it works on here, it'll work. But the problem you have on the TMC is the gap here. I know a Magpool stock is this size, so you're going to have that gap, unfortunately. Another drawback is this is plastic, and I've actually seen some of you guys who have had TMCs in the TMC owner group break this because it's plastic to metal, and something gets, you fall on it or something like that, and that breaks off. I'm sure you can replace that part, but that's a drawback on there if you don't like that gap. Yet there still is a gap on ours because of the fill nipple here, but it's a little less noticeable, and you have that remote line option for the rear air.
Or if you want to get the standard buffer tube,
Yeah.
you can actually illuminate the gap quite a bit there.
Or even the straight tank. On the
Yeah,
back.
the straight tank. Yeah.
Yeah.
The you go on to the next one. Talk about the barrels there.
Yeah, top of this one here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So another one on the Bolt is you actually can change trigger frame, magazine, or you can take the mag well out like I showed you earlier. You can add in barrel nut, and you can add in attach on mil-spec handguard. So upgrade is pretty much almost unlimited. You can pretty much use different type of buttstock, different type of air system, handguard.
Aiden's watching.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do with it.
So looking at the TMC, it's still a clamshell design. But it's just like ours, but with all the components taken off, you actually just have the receiver, which is held on by 6 screws, and it just comes off. Here you have your entire upper and lower receiver. The entire complete receiver here is held on by a little bit more screws, and it actually all of that stuff needs to be taken off for you to clean it. On ours, you just, essentially it's the same thing. You can leave the stock and all that on, just take off that top part. In all honesty, you really shouldn't have to be taking apart any markers unless you get dirt or grime in there. Re-oiling the system and allowing it to disperse that oil or your lubrication through during your dry cycling, that works. But as far as like KT mentioned earlier, if you get a break in the breech, which is the most common, or even there, it's very difficult to have to leave the field, take everything off, remove, and clean, and then service again. For ours, you just take that magwell off. You can dip it in some warm water in the front and just dry cycle to get that paint or shell out of there. Let's see, magazines. Magazines, what are they? They're 2 for 25 bucks. So you get 2. They're 20 rounders, paintball only magazines, which are great for 25 bucks. The Helix, those are $20 a piece. So price point, they're a little bit better, but they give you the opportunity to shoot shape projectiles.
Or you can get a D-Mag.
Or you can get a D-Mag, yeah, $10 a piece.
Well, Tippmanns are you can pack up 10. They're like 60 bucks a piece.
60 bucks,
yeah.
But then you also cleaning, servicing.
Cleaning, yeah.
You gotta unscrew everything, take it apart. They did do a pretty decent area where there's only 2 sections here that you have to take off one piece where you can access everything to clean it without having taken it completely apart. But again, you got to unscrew it. The D-mags, helix mags, they all kind of just snap apart, snap back together. So
you can actually do it out when you pull. You press the button and pull the whole thing out. A little tight here. Pop up too fast. Here, that's it. So you take it apart, clean it up, and then put it back together.
So servicing and maintenance, toolless. As far as, like you said, the functionality and quickness that you're able to kind of move through problems. As you can see, the bolt has it. As far as handguards, let's talk about handguards. Both the Blizzard and the Bolt are compatible with mil-spec accessories, which means you can use any mil-spec handguard most of the time. We've yet to find one that does not work on these systems. The TMC unfortunately doesn't have that ability because there is no threading for a barrel nut. It is a clamshell clamshell design. So like we were talking about before, which moves me on to the next point, the barrel. The barrel is something that can be upgraded, and it has standard 98 threads, just like our Blizzard, but the shape of the stock barrel that it comes with, which is completely, it's a, what is it? You said it was like the bar stock? They just melt,
well, yeah, they make their barrels out of machined extruded bar stock, so the stock is a specific size. To make it look like a real M4, you'll notice that your muzzle brake is machined to the barrel itself. So the muzzle brake itself is probably about a 1-inch diameter, and then they machine it down to about a 7/8 so that it looks. But to stabilize their handguard here, instead of designing a system that can attach like a real handguard, they, like I said, have this little insert in there, ring insert, that's kind of fitted around their barrel, and that's what stabilizes it, makes it sturdy. You know, we make probably one of the few full 1-inch barrels, and even that, once installed, you know, nice and snug in there, not moving, but the handguard has some wobble and give because it's not matched up perfectly to that center ring. I think it's similar to what they have on the Project Salvo. I've seen the same thing, where the handguard kind of is stabilized by the barrel itself.
It's a cookie cutter, basically.
Yeah,
they cut it in, and then that's what you get. Not much of upgradability.
With the
that doesn't mean the Tippmann won't come out with new handguards.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
They still may. They still may come up with some new handguards that you can attach on here and get different looks. The problem is just right now they don't have it, and nobody knows when they will or when they won't.
Right. And like I said, guys, these are questions that we're getting right now because the TMC is so popular. Every person I've encountered with the TMC that's come in the shop here or messaged me on Facebook or you guys had a lot of preconceived notions of what you can do and what's really not possible. So what you can see, obviously, when we're giving you the facts here, a lot of these things that you were told that you can do. I know that MagFed Maker has some stuff. Some of you guys have put it up here. But keep in mind, you're modifying the marker. These are not upgrades. You're modifying it, which means that it's most likely going to void warranty. So that's one thing you have to keep in mind it's the same thing if you do to ours. If you're modifying our guns to do things that they're outside of its expectation or compatibility, that voids the warranty. So all of those things for a new player, those are things that you have to keep in mind because these guys, they don't understand the functionality yet. So with the barrels, you do need a 1-inch in diameter barrel. That's going to be the best option for you. If you don't, you're going to have to add Teflon. Or
electrical tape,
something to beef it up on those two areas there.
And then that'll get rid of the wobble.
Right.
But even then, I think you're going to have a little bit of a hard time getting it set in there. You may even have to open up these screws here to kind of clamp it, put your barrel in, and then clamp it down right where that electrical tape is, and then tighten it down, and then it'll be. But then again, for serviceability, if you get a barrel break, being able to swab it out, take your barrel off, it's not going to be as easy. So there's a little give and take there, going with the TMC, which again, I'm not knocking it. It's just If you're a player that wants to be able to grow and do other things eventually, yes, the airline is not as pretty, but you can always upgrade. Or you can buy, in this configuration, you can upgrade to that. You can buy a mil-spec barrel nut, put on a Troy or Noveske handguard. I mean, we purposely put all these adapters in so that we can start people off, let them get used to MagFed style of play, but also grow with the sport. And what I'm finding is that MagFed paintball players are gun horse. So they may start with a small one, and eventually they'll grow and they'll get themselves a Milsig or a SAR 12 or a 468 or a T15, but they'll have a Bolt or a Blizzard that they bought from before, and it becomes their loaner gun, and that's how they grow paintball in their area.
So, I mean, like I said, this isn't about knocking a product. We have drawbacks in our product just as much. I mean, people like the plastic handguard. You got a plastic handguard. It's not a Riz. It has the standard Picatinny on top and a Picatinny on the bottom. But you know, these are things that people are not being told, which is why we're talking about it right now, because you guys need to see the facts here. There's, like I said, a lot of preconceived notion. KT said earlier about adding optics and sights to this system. This is something that came up to me a couple days ago when a customer came into the lobby here asking to put a sight on the gun. The only drawback with putting a sight on the TMC is that you can only have a sight if you're running the MagFed option. If you decide you want to use the Hopper option, you cannot use a sight. I tried a Holotech, I've tried even one with a riser, any of them, all of them actually, they will hit that Hopper mechanism because it does fit very close to the side of the receiver here. Also, you don't have a lot of top rail space here because of this unit being very compact. So you will have to move the optic forward. If you want to put a sight all the way up here, that would be the only place that you can do that if you decide you want to use the Hopper or switch between the Hopper and the MagFed option. So a sight or optic that fits on a standard Picatinny will only be compatible if you use the MagFed option only, unfortunately. That's why they gave you these fixed sights here to allow you to do that. Talked about the rear air. Unfortunately, there's just nothing in here that is going to allow for an option like that. The stocks. Talk about our gun here. I mean, the Bolt, whatever one you get. I mean, the model comparison would be the Bolt and Blizzard Elites. They're $229, which makes them $29 more expensive than the TMC. But they are shape projectile ready. They do come with a rear air, which is the most sought after upgrade for our markers. And you have the black and tan, just like the TMC. But you know, you're not far off from upgrading to the Riz. Like I said, all you need is the mil-spec barrel. Now is what? Right. What is that? $17.95 or no? It's $24.95.
19 or 20 bucks.
19 or 20 bucks. $20 upgrade.
Right.
The Riz rail and the barrel nut. You can get that as a package, and those are it's like $50.
Right.
And that's an all metal Riz quad rail. So you can put the E triggers in these with the detachable trigger frame. You have the Thunderbolt trigger frame. You have the uses the BT4 E trigger. The Blizzard. You can put an RT valve in it. You can put the 98 response trigger in it. It's got the lock bolt, which is a solid piece for both the Bolt and the Blizzard now. So, I mean, overall for the value, we're a little bit more expensive, like we said, and we know that. But for me, like I said, it's the growth. It's the compatibility of parts. There is a learning curve with anything that you buy, both the TMC, the Bolt, Milsig, doesn't matter. But being able, the process to understand that, I believe, is a little bit easier on our systems and other comparable models too.
And I don't want anybody to think that we're trying to knock what Tippmann's doing. I personally have said from day one that I think Tippmann getting into MagFed is great. And the reason why they're selling so well is because their reach is everywhere. Right. Everywhere you go, there's a Tippmann. Whether it's a big box store, a paintball field, a paintball store, there's Tippmann. So them getting into MagFed is good. It will help grow what you guys are trying to do. But what most players are looking for, and the reason why this show kind of came up is because we have been filtering and inundated with questions through our chat, through our emails, phone calls, and people that now have these, and I think they're already in the thousands, right? I think last I heard they've already sold almost 3,500 guns. So the fact that there's 3,500 new players out there in the world out here trying to now customize their guns, they're looking for places to go, and we are getting a lot of those calls. And then once we tell them there is nothing really that can be done, obviously
for upgrades.
Well, what can I do? I mean, the only thing we can offer them is an option here so that it can be upgraded. And I've had a few that have done that, or a few that are saying, all right, well, how much can I sell this for used? I don't know, $100, $150. I don't know. It's just something that's coming our way, mostly because we sell a lot of accessories too, and people want to upgrade.
Right.
So again, I don't want anybody to think we're trying to knock what Tippmann is doing. I think what they're doing has helped. But it's up to the players and the real MagFed players that are out there on a daily basis. People like MagFed Society and ODSC and what they're doing is what's going to really grow this sport as a whole. But now you have a market of people jumping in. Now they need to know what to do, and it's a community's job to kind of help them and direct them and pass that information on, help them get whether they're going to go towards a MCS product or a Milsig product or a First Strike product, whatever it is. And I find that a lot.
Informative of what's the availability and options
to know that there is options out there instead of just this is all there is for this. You know what I'm saying? That's what this is for. And like I said, I enjoy this product. I think I agree with Mike 100%. But every single person I've spoken to, and there's been at least over 40 that I know for sure, probably more in the sense it's release, have all had these big dreams and big aspirations for it, and I've had to turn them down. And that's, to me, watching the reviews that are being put on for these guns online, they're not saying any of the things that we just told you. So that's where the motivation behind this episode came from. So that's, like I said, we're just informing everyone of what is real and what's not real. So for those of you who are thinking about it or have already made the decision, this is the reality.
So the size difference somebody's asking, I mean, in reality, width-wise, they're almost identical. Okay. They have a little bit of more narrow than we do, and that's mostly because of the shells. But what that's allowed us to do is to have different color shells. We have black, we have tan, we have green, we have other colors coming. With the Ranger plate on there, and it is about 3/4 of an inch longer. But again, that allows us to have the twist for the shape projectile. Also, it actually holds 21 paintballs. So there is a little bit of a size difference between the two mags. And of course, the insertion is different, where theirs is a winder and a gear, and it's just a trigger pin, which is almost like a mouse trap. So as soon as you click it in, it just unlocks and loads. Whereas ours has a depression pin.
Positive
Positive pressure. You have to depress it. So that's kind of where the whole stiffer insertion or slap comes about, because you have to kind of fight against that spring pressure to activate it. So there is those differences. And it's really up to you as a player which one you prefer. Like I've told everybody, there is no perfect gun in the MagFed world.
Kids, I've been getting a lot of feedbacks on as far as kit goes, because they cannot really reach to their thumb, the trigger finger, to release the magazine on the TMC. This has the ambidextrous release, so you can actually release it using your thumb here. So it's for kids, people with smaller arms or more smaller profile, they can actually use it a lot easier. As far as insertion, you just put it in and release, just come right out. Of course, you also in the past slap and come out. Either way, takes practice. Like I said, if I did a video in the past where a lot of people saying it's really stiff, it just depends on you as a player. You want this to be smoother, just get a piece of sandpaper, remove some material in there, and it's all clean. So it's better that you control the insertion, how easy to go in as opposed to make it really hard for you or a little easy for you. So it's your choice to control that. Customize the product, make it work well for you. Since you're using it, it's your equipment, you can adjust that to your needs and your playing style, right?
Craig Faust was asking if there's any mossy oak on the way in. The answer to that is no. Unfortunately, mossy oak is a trademarked. It's a trademarked camouflage, and we would have to sign for our life away to use the rights to use that camouflage. So unfortunately, no. No mossy oak, no real tree. I think once upon a time we had a small shipment come in that had to disappear, and it's gone and never coming back. So.
Yeah, the 2017. I think in the past with especially with the 2016 one, Helix and earlier with the slap, that was our biggest. That was a pretty big gripe that we got from a lot of people that didn't like that, especially new players, because they'd put it in, they'd start firing, the mag would pop out, and they'd be like, "Hey, what the heck? My mag's not working." I would get those calls quite often, be like, "My mag's defective, it doesn't stay in," and then I'd have to tell them you have to slap it in. They'd be like, "Oh, okay." But now with the new 2017 inserts, no problemo.
Yeah, we went through and improved the channel on the inserts, which allowed us to use a softer spring for the disengagement. It also allowed for a wider track for the paddle door, so everything just runs smoother, and that's why you're getting a more simpler insertion on these mags. Unfortunately for us to give you guys the price that you guys are getting, we're not producing 1,000. We're producing tens of thousands of these at a time. So it's a huge investment for people to get these Helix mags at the cost that we're bringing them in, especially since they are being assembled and manufactured in the U.S., not overseas. So that's where a big cost difference comes in. But we were dedicated on bringing mags at a lower cost, and it took a long time for us to do that and find the right manufacturer to do it at the quality that you guys are getting, and then that's where we're at.
I know KT's put a lot of time into those magazines, so
a lot. Couple of years actually.
Do you see his eye twitch? That's loss of sleep because of that.
Where are we at on the auction?
Where are we at now?
Let me look right now.
Check on that real quick. Then I want to kind of get into some of the events coming up.
Yeah. Your link expired.
Did it?
140, Timothy Brooks.
Did it really?
140?
Yes. Come on, people. It seemed to be more exciting over on the live auction.
What did I send you? Just a Google Doc?
Yeah, it expired. Let's see. Timothy Brooks, Albert Doble. Are you guys having trouble? I know I saw earlier, were you guys having trouble with the bid here to sign in? Some of you said earlier, I think the link didn't work, but I don't know if you resolved that. So you do have to log in, and then you go to that link I've pinned to the top here, and then you can go through there. Justin Waldrop, it's a Vortex M4. If you click on the link, there's actually a video of the gun. Yeah, see, everyone's saying better live.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is a trial run, guys. So we'll
make it live.
Well, next week we'll make it live.
Well, we had so many people about the I bid after we shut it off.
Yeah. Crybabies.
Can you extend it 30 more seconds? I bid.
It won't let me use the link. Huh.
Go to...
If you go to our website, Justin, mcsus.com, and go to resources, there's an MFW auction right there. You just click on that.
How about next time we put a link right above the thing there.
Which one? It's on there. It's right here.
Yeah.
You got your phone? Send your link again.
Okay.
I just opened it.
John is lying. The website is down. Al, don't you dare, dude. Don't you dare do that.
Good one.
the website is down.
Try opening again.
They sent it to me on Facebook Messenger, not here.
Oh, okay.
You guys want to go to the event?
We have, what do we have coming up? This weekend is Living Legends.
Bring up the calendar.
Oops.
Show them the auction, how to do it again.
Okay, guys, so we're going right here to resources, and then you'll click on the MFW auction. Then you click on this button right here. and then you go ahead and you'll go. There's a video of the product here. Jamie will go through what works, and if there is anything that doesn't work, he'll go through that here, shooting test, and kind of just explain it. And then you'll go ahead and comment here. You have to log into your account on the mcsus.com website. If you don't have one, log in, or I'm sorry, create one, and then you can go in here and leave your comment with your bid. And then we'll go ahead and at the end of the show, we'll cancel it, and that will be the end of it there.
And they can also log in through their Facebook, so when they go to do that. But some of the games I know coming up are Living Legends this weekend. I'm sure Wolf will be there, and
yes, show
that's going to be, what is it, Living Legends 10?
Not sure.
What are you looking for?
Show them in the calendar.
Resources.
Resources.
Event.
Then you have Oklahoma D-Day. We're actually now...
My annual pilgrimage.
That was a lot of games this month.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the month of paintball, so I know there's a paintball.
Living Legends not on the calendar.
No, Living Legends not on the calendar.
Wow.
Somebody has to put it on there.
Sweet Jiminy.
What's that?
I'm blaming it on Timothy Brooks.
Is D-Day on there?
D-Day's on there.
Where?
Down further.
Down further?
Yeah, in June.
Oh, June.
Right
yeah, there it goes. Oklahoma D-Day. No, that's Command Paintball.
Oh, that's Command. That's Canada.
That's not us. Well, not you.
Right there.
Oklahoma D-Day.
20th anniversary, right?
20th anniversary of Oklahoma D-Day. So this is the 20th year they're doing it. It's going to be hopefully really big. I know KT is invested in a mini store there, so if you want to get out of the heat when you're down there at Oklahoma D-Day, go see his store. He has air conditioning.
$5 an hour.
I won't be making it after all. I have some other things going on that week, but Jonathan is going to be taking my place, so you'll see Jonathan and KT in Oklahoma D-Day. Hope to see you guys there. Ted Offensive, I know is another one that's coming on here in
down south.
Same weekend.
Same weekend.
Are you going?
It's a weekend game, I guess. I guess trading places with Jonathan. I'll be at.
I'm only one person.
But you'll be over there. I'll be down there. And that one, Kalesa is going to be the general for that game. So
I could have swore that was on here.
I know she's out there promoting, getting everybody on her team. Which one?
Ted Offensive.
Ted Offensive is on here.
It's on there.
If not on here, and somebody need to put it on.
It's not on here.
I thought it was on there.
I thought it was too. I could have swore I saw it.
Well,
Let's put that on there. That's got to go on there.
Callista, you have a login. You could put it on there.
Don't need login. You just put it.
She has all the information.
Take me with you.
All right. And then, of course, there is also Operation End War 8.
Bum, bum, bum.
Okay. So, that one is somebody asking about the date. So
the date is on the screen, isn't it?
Yeah, you gotta
scroll down a
little bit.
So at the Snake Pit Training Center, October 21st and 22nd is when we're going to have Operation End War 8. And for those of you who missed last week, I am working with MagFed Legion, the Lunatics, and NorCal Maniacs, and we are going to be putting on and hosting the game for this year. Jonathan's going to be a part of it with me. He's got a pretty exclusive position within the game that's going to hopefully turn out really good. But one of the things that I did want to talk about for this year's game, for Operation End War 6, we turned it into a charity event because there was a fire in the area and a lot of families lost their homes and valuables. And that turned out pretty well, being able to donate that money to those people that were in need. So one of the things that we are going to do for Operation End War 8 this year, for those of you who do know me, my son was diagnosed with autism 3 years ago. So it is something very personal to me that I deal with, and every April I do an autism walk and I raise money for them. So we are going to actually be donating all the proceeds from Operation End War 8 to that autism walk. So hopefully that kind of really gets a good vibe for the game and becomes something that becomes a staple for Operation End War going out. Again, like I've told a lot of people, from my idea of doing Operation War is not to make money, but just to provide a really good game and a good experience for a lot of players. And hopefully we can start doing that and turn that game around and really make it a must-go, must-be attend game for everyone.
And believe me, we have not made a single penny at any Operation End War. Every year we put tons of resources, thousands of man hours in making props, right? Prepare all the products, loaner, rent for all the players. We'll have to go out there a week or two ahead of time, making sure the field's safe, cut the grass, markings, and all kind of stuff to make sure the event is safe. That's why, and it's not a paintball field, so we have to bring out air tanks. We have to bring out all the provision for the players, so it's not a money making event. People think, oh, they're making tons of money for event. No, it's not true. It's my personal way of thanking the players. I've been doing the paintball almost. I want to have a game of years to thank the player for supporting us and doing something fun. An all MagFed event. That's why we started it, and we keep on going. This year, Mike taking over. He's working with the local teams to get them into putting an event together, so that way they can grow the sports rather than trying to ourselves. He's partnered with the team, so that way we can spread out the knowledge and get them together, get the involvement. The more involvement you get the players and the people into what we're doing, that's how we grow the sports, and that's how we can able to share that knowledge, experience, and opportunities. So if you guys have a team out there and you want to do thorough events and you want to do charity events or just do an event altogether, let us know. We'll participate in what you're doing and try to support you in what we can, right? Not no promises that we we do everything, but if we're able to, we'll try.
Absolutely.
Is KT going to play this year? I'll probably write him in as a high-value target. So we
For the
will
first
do
time,
something.
right?
Yeah, for the first time, I'm going to get him on the field. I'm going to make sure something's written in
Right.
there. I want to focus on a lot of gameplay, props, and things like that to really just get people involved. And like I said, make it more of an event that everybody just has a really good time. And hopefully we can do that this year. I got a really good bunch of guys, and they're putting a lot of hard work in.
Right.
And I think it's going to be a really good game.
I've been throwing events, and go to throwing events, and I don't really have a chance to play. So this might be the first time that I get to go play in the field at an event that I'm participating. Kind of cool.
He may even serve chavelas to you guys.
Oh no, we're definitely serving chavelas. I'm gonna need it after a long day of work out there. I think that's gonna be the new staple everywhere I go, man.
Yeah.
Just come see me at the tent. I'll have big chavelas.
No.
I think it's worth it. I think that's a cool thing no one else is doing.
Right.
But anyway, I think we'll shut the auction down here in the next 5 minutes. So
You get until say 5:55.
5:55.
All right.
So one thing too, I just want to reiterate, this episode was in no way to slam another person or Tippmann's product. This was just an informative episode to kind of give you the pros and cons of each system. Like I said, there's a lot of people that don't like our gun because of the plastic grip that you get. The braided hose doesn't look appealing, even just because it has the word RAP4 on it. That's just the cold hard truth. But I wanted to relay some information of what's really out there, because
What
like
is
I said,
what is not,
what
right?
it is and what is not. A lot of you guys that are interested were getting information from some sources that were obviously not giving you everything that you need to know when you're researching before a purchase. So that's all this episode was. So now you guys know, if you have people that are interested, you can show them this episode, you can relay this information, and you can give someone all of the necessary information before they make a purchase. That's how I would want it, and I'm sure that they would appreciate that too. So just keep that in mind, because I'm sure it'll come up.
So highest bidding right now is 160. Timothy.
Timothy?
Right.
Timothy Brooks, you sneaking in from Aldobo? Better get in there, Al.
Timothy Brooks, is he still in here? Timothy, how many guns do you have? And how close are you to Dusty Hatfield? Because I think Dusty Hatfield has the most extensive MCS RAP4 collection, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think he does. Dusty, are you still in here? How many guns do you have? He's got to have like
A
20
dozen.
something.
Oh man,
I mean,
got a little
he's got a
shrine going
huge.
on.
He's got like.
Brian Avery wants to know if there's going to be any state projectiles at OEW 8.
Ooh, what a good question.
Stay tuned. That's
Stay
all
tuned.
I can say.
To be
Trust me. Once I know.
I've ran out of rosaries praying. Let's put it that way, Brian.
Yeah, it's still something at work. I would love for it to happen there.
it'll be epic if it does.
Oh, that'd be
Just
the
don't
best.
know until we can find out where all that's at. Don't go poking him. Omar's busy because he'll probably ignore you. But once he gets it done, I'm sure we'll have some good information for everybody.
Has anyone ever messaged him because of the
Oh,
show?
they have. There's a
yeah.
lot of people that he tells me the people all the time.
Guys, don't poke the bear. Don't poke the bear. Goodness gracious. You're
I'll
gonna
talk to
ruin
him
it for
later
everybody.
today. I speak to Omar almost every day, so I'll tell him, hey.
We do enough poking.
I don't even have his number. It's for a good reason, though. Let's see here. Yeah, we're still at
So Timothy Brooks has 12 MCS guns.
Oh,
12
cool.
MCS guns. Dusty, how many do you have? Why isn't this isn't updating?
That's
Yeah.
why we're doing the
He has
option.
3 4.68s, 4 Blizzards, 3 Vortexes, and 2 Bolts.
Awesome.
Timothy Brooks
John
has
Miles says he might be able to give Tim run for his money, though. Al says he gives up. What are you giving up? You giving up on the auction, or you giving up on getting more guns than Timothy?
He's giving up. He's getting off of the auction. Oh, Callista, you don't need any more guns. You got a PTR.
You got the unicorn.
You got the unicorn. Did Callista? Did people come up to you about what that is? Do you tell them that it's PTR?
Oh, yes, he
Yeah.
does.
Do they come over to you and
I
they're
had
like,
3
hey.
people come up to the booth. They're like, "Hey, I want to see the Brad's version." But he's like, "I heard it's a $10,000 gun." Timothy Brooks says, "The stick with dust on it."
Milsig with dust on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
So it's
We got 1 minute left.
5:54. You guys got a minute. So
Calista, Al wants a unicorn. Maybe you should get him the little unicorn popper you found.
Justin Wardrobe, he's at 200.
Just a wardrobe.
Yep.
How much more time we got?
We got a minute.
We got a minute.
Got 1 minute here. And then we're shutting it off.
Oh, this is updating it. It says
I
it
just noticed
reconnected.
right here when say you want to deplete the air tank, you have to push this forward. It's a good trick.
That is a good trick.
So you know sometimes how you turn it off, right?
Yeah.
And you have to dry fire it. So it's actually you press that, drain the tank.
That's smart.
Yeah, this thing's not upgrading at all. That's way.
Yeah. The message on the board is not updating that quickly.
Yeah.
All right, it is 5:55. I can refresh my page, and whoever gets the last bid, the highest bid that I see, Al Double.
Al Double 210.
Oh,
One buddy. Yeah, Al.
Al.
Oh man, I don't know why we're so excited for you. I really don't. He was so happy.
He's in here, always talking about it.
I know.
He said, "I give up." No, you didn't give
Al,
up, man.
no, it was a tactic. It was a tactic. Good job, Al. See? Remember, he was like,
Yeah.
the website shut down, so people were like, "Oh, the website
Right.
shut down." Now
Right.
he got it. Congratulations, Al. That's fantastic.
That's a great
So
deal.
make sure you call me tomorrow if I can take your money. Okay. Other than that, you got anything else?
That's
Very
it.
good. Hopefully, see you guys out some of these events coming up. Hope to see a lot of you at Operation Enmore. It'd be great to see you out there. And have a good time playing.
Thank you guys. Thanks for watching.
See you on the field.
See ya.
Combat Sports.